Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills. Today is the 28th. It's a Thursday. We had export sales out here today. But before we go any further, let's see where we closed off the day. Corn trading higher here, 4 1/4 cents. Soybeans up 5 cents. Wheat in Chicago up 9 1/2 cents. Kansas City wheat up 6 3/4, and spring wheat trading up 5 1/4 cents here. Wheat was the relative strength in the grain complex today. This was as a result of the escalation over in Ukraine. You probably heard talks by now that Russian troops have crossed over the border. There's also talks that 2 columns of armored vehicles have crossed over the border and are fighting with the separatists. This is made more complicated by the fact that the Russian government continues to deny that this is happening. So it's very difficult to get any concrete evidence or concrete proof that Russia is in fact invading Ukraine. So right now, of course, the talks of that occurring is throwing a little bit of a risk premium in the wheat market. Of course, it wasn't any sort of significant rally here because we haven't seen any sort of disruption here in the cash grain supply. Most of the conflict is on the eastern part of Ukraine, and so it should be isolated here from too much of an influence on the wheat market. But of course, we did get a bit of a bump with wheat trading higher here on the day. It's going to be interesting. Just pay close attention to how really Western countries respond to this, how NATO responds to this, and what we may end up seeing is a continued escalation here in Ukraine. Let's switch our attention over to the weather here. This is the 6 to 10 day forecast. It looks as though really earlier part of next week we should continue to see precipitation. I'm sure most farmers throughout the Midwest saw precipitation this week. It looks as though that trend will continue into next week. Most notably here, you'll see that in the 6 to 10 day forecast, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, all receiving well above average precipitation for this time of the year. With that being said, we did have export sales out this morning, and one thing you'll notice is that we came in within analyst expectations, really everything except for new crop soybeans, which beat analyst expectations. Very positive sales over there in the new crop soybeans. When you look at wheat here coming in at 403,000 metric tons, corn and soybeans for the old crop, we saw net cancellations. What that means here for corn, when you look at this model, this is the export sales model. The blue lines here represent actual sales. The red lines represents what we'd expect to see based on the seasonality of sales for those weeks. And then the green line here corresponds to the axis on the right here, showing the million bushels ahead or behind pace to meet USDA expectations. You'll notice that corn here is right on par with meeting analyst expectations, and it's likely that we'll close out the marketing year really right on where the USDA was forecasting export sales. That is not the case here for soybeans. Notice the green line here. We're seeing about 35 million bushels ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations. We only have a week left. So unless we see huge cancellations in the final weeks, it's unlikely, or it's actually likely that we're going to see the USDA have to revise their export sales here higher in the September 11th WASDE report. Other than that, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call at the office, 877-472-4607. Remember, you can take a demo of the mobile trading platform at grainhedge.com. Top left-hand corner, put your name, number, and email address down there. We'll be in touch with you. We'll help you learn the platform, feel comfortable with it, and customize it to your own trading style. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Friday for the weekly wrap-up.